Welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters in Nigeria's Commercial Nest Center and our global headquarters right here at Channels Television. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. The show is simple, tracking the biggest political stories in the polity. But let's get started with the headlines. Court dismisses suit seeking to stop former President Goodluck Jonathan from contesting in the 2027 presidential election. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Governor of Rivers State Rotimi Amechi, and businessman Ayatollah know their fate today on who will fly the ADC's party flag in 2027 presidential election. Thanks again for joining us on the program that keeps track of politics at midday, and we can tell you attention is now shifted to the ADC as the race for the nation's powerful seat is on. African Democratic Congress began its presidential primaries across the country with key contenders like Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi, and businessman Mohammed Ayatollah participating. As members take part in the exercise, the ADC has vowed to conduct a free, fair, and all-inclusive process which will ensure all parties accept the outcome in order to proceed to the general election.
No result is out. I hope that the system will be transparent as it was in my village. If it is transparent, I will accept the result, because from the one, all we agreed is that if the primary is free and fair, nobody is going anywhere. But where it is not free and fair, a lot of us will react. Governance is not just that a challenge. It's not. It is whether you're ready to govern or not. Most politicians don't want to govern. They were hired to sort out their unemployment challenges. So they were unemployed, so politics becomes employment for them. So if we get elected, and that's the reason why I want to become the president. If we get elected, like I told the crowd in Kano yesterday, I said, a governor or president is like an engineer. Engineer finds solutions to engineering problems. So a governor is supposed to find solutions to both political, economic, and social problems of those who have elected him to govern. But we don't do it in Nigeria.
I'm very pleased to be here today because I've come to my ward, Hadamari ward, in Borno State, about 7 miles outside Maiduguri. I've just finished casting my vote, and you can clearly see the demonstration of support from the video pictures that are currently being captured. I believe that my community and my state will vote massively for me. But while I do that, I might also sound a serious note of caution at this stage. There's a massive campaign of disinformation going on in places like Abuja, in Kaduna, and other places that I've actually stepped down for one particular candidate. That is simply a fabrication. There is no iota of truth, no germ of truth in this wild speculation.
It's game time for them. So later today, I'm sure right here, we'll bring you up to speed with how things are panned out for the ADC so that we get to know who represents that party in the next election. But just moments ago, Justice Peter Lee for the Federal High Court in Abuja dismissed a suit filed by legal practitioner John Mary Gideobi seeking to stop former President Goodluck Jonathan from contesting in the 2027 presidential election. The judge also awarded 20 million naira fine against Gideobi and in favor of the ex-president or former president. He equally awarded a 1 million naira fine against the plaintiff and in favor of the Attorney General of the Federation. Justice Lifo held that Gideobi lacks the legal rights to have instituted the suit, having not suffered any loss from his perceived Jonathan's intention to vie for the next year poll. The judge, who said the Federal High Court in Yenagoa and an appeal court had already held that Jonathan, or former President Jonathan, was eligible to run, said he was bound by the decision of the appellate court, describing the lawyer's suit in his words as an abuse of court process, among other pronouncements of court. Now, for more on that suit won by former President Goodluck Jonathan, let's bring in the counsel to former President Goodluck Jonathan. Emmanuel Anene joins us from our Abuja studio. Mr. Anene, thank you for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, Nigerians. And thank you for having me.
Sigh of relief, excited, it's over. How would you describe this? Ms. Anene, can you hear me? All right, so we're trying to reestablish connection with the counsel to former President Goodluck Jonathan on this particular suit by a lawyer, according to the report. So John Mary Gideobi was seeking to ensure that President Jonathan is not on the poll, because President Jonathan had actually said he's consulting. He hasn't said anything. I think this is the second time he's talking about consulting. In the last election, he said similar things. So people are saying he may or may not. But let's see whether we can get the lawyer in again and try. Ms. Anene, can you hear us? Oh, dear. All right, so the whole issue, so just a quick recap of what this issue is. President Jonathan had actually served as vice president with Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who had passed on, God rest his soul. So he completed that term and ran for re-election. So he swore two oaths, he swore the oath of office and the oath of allegiance twice. First, when he took over office to complete the term of the former President Yar'Adua, and the next when he was now elected to run for his own full term, and then he lost in 2015. So looking at issues around constitution, and some things have been amended. So that's why this case headed to court. Let's see whether we can get Mr. Anene for the last time. Mr. Anene, thank you for coming on the program.
Like I said before, there was a judgment in Yenegoa.
Go ahead.
In a case instituted by Andy Solomon and Abraham against former President Jonathan on the issue of Section 137, subsection 3 of 1999 Constitution as amended. This amendment came in 2018. Now, the court decided, looking at this judgment, that the former president is qualified to run for the election. Now, the reasoning of the court, the reasoning of the court is that the constitutional provisions is to apply prospectively and not retroactively, because the former president left office in 2015. Now, the constitution was this constitution we are talking about, Section 137, subsection 3. It came into being in 2018. By that time, the former president had left office. Now, there was also a decision in Yenegoa that the former president was to run, has the capacity, legal capacity to contest the election. That decision came in 2022. Now, there was also a decision in Abuja here, in a matter instituted by Syracuse in Joku, that the former president is also qualified to contest the election. Now, this issue, this judgment by the court against the action instituted by Syracuse in Joku traveled as far back as Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal came with a judgment that the former president has no legal inhibition to contest the election. Why would one would wonder why this repetitive instant will also litigate this matter again, and there should be an end to litigation. Now, the issue is the same. The parties are the same. What changed is the people that instituted this action. Now, this raises the issue of issue estoppel. Once an issue is decided by court of competent jurisdiction, the only way to obtain that judgment is to go to an appeal. And once an appellate court has decided on that matter, that settles it. This is not only forum shopping, it's abuse of court process, and they want to throw the court into ridicule. And Nigeria should not accept this one. God so kind that Honorable Justice Lifu came to our rescue and rescue of Nigerian, because Nigerians have been ridiculed. And former president, let me sign this warning. Former President Jonathan should not be put in a position where he will regret voluntarily handing over power to Buhari, even when the result of that election is being awaited. And there are good grounds, veritable grounds to challenge this election. But former President Jonathan, against all odds, against every advice, decided to concede power. Nigeria should applaud him for that.
All right, so I'm wondering, so we can clearly say now that this is the end to litigation because this case has been adjudicated on over and over and over. Is that what we're saying here?
This is end to it. There is nothing. You cannot just wake a dead horse. It's amount to flogging a dead horse. A dead horse is dead. There are judicial pronouncements. This judgment that came today is just to amplify the amplified judgment that was already taken by court of competent jurisdiction. You could have challenged it in court, but there is nothing to challenge. Look at the award of 20 million naira against the plaintiff and even 1 million awarded in favor of Attorney General. It is needless. This is a mere distraction. But then, former President Jonathan has not even told anybody that he wants to contest. Is it when anybody wake up and start disturbing Mr. President because he handed over the power voluntarily? If Mr. President said, I want to contest election, what wrong would this plaintiff instance would have suffered? Is he an aspirant in that election? Does he want to contest election? These are the questions. He's a busybody. He just wants to attract attention to himself and distract former President Jonathan from what he's doing. Former President Jonathan is a full-fledged Nigerian and he has legal and constitutional right to contest to seek re-election into that office. That's the judgment of the court today.
All right, in closing with you, so this simply means that anyone who is in former President Jonathan's shoes, whether it's a former governor or a former president, who seeks to run, okay, because former President OBJ, Obasanjo, he did his 2 terms. God rest his soul, and their souls. Yaradua is gone, Buhari is gone, it's just Jonathan that is alive. So that's why I can now say, maybe any other person, maybe who is a governor who is in this kind of situation, can actually go home and say, okay, with this judgment, since the Constitution was amended after it happened, they are good to go. Is that what we're saying now, according to what this judgment?
No, let me clarify this impression. There was a case instituted against Ayedetua. You understand? That case was failed because Ayedetua was sworn in after that amendment. Now, the case of Jonathan was that he left office in 2015. And like I said, there are a plethora of Supreme Court judgments in Ono against Mobodo, then Osifo against Attorney General of Bende State, then Afolabi against Attorney General of Oyo State. Supreme Court decision in these cases that are cited are to the effect that constitutional provisions are to apply prospectively and not retroactively.
Okay.
So if constitutional provisions are to apply prospectively, then it is look at futuristic, not retroactively as per what happened in the past. These provisions is not to apply to President Jonathan because as at the time the constitutional amendment was made in 2018, Jonathan had already left office 3 years earlier. So I wonder why people are dragging Mr. President needlessly, unnecessarily in a litigation that has no fruit. Nothing will come out of this litigation.
All right. Well, congratulations to you and former President Goodluck Jonathan. Apparently the coast is clear, but we haven't heard from him on what his decision will be, whether or not he's running. But thank you. Emmanuel Anene,
I know that if the former president decides to run contest election, Nigerians will vote for him because he's an
let's stay within the confines of what has happened. The law.
Well in everything.
I brought you to talk about the law, not to talk about his ambition. Emmanuel Anene, counsel to former President Goodluck Jonathan. Thank you. All right. Away from that, let's move on now to what's playing out in Warri Federal Constituency, where members of the Shekiri ethnic nationality have protested at the headquarters of INEC in Abuja, asking the electoral umpire to revisit the delineation exercise it conducted last year.
For a third time this year, members of the Shekiri ethnic nationality stage another protest at the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Abuja. Singing songs in their dialect, they display placards with inscriptions rejecting the polling unit's delineation in Warri Federal Constituency in Delta State. The demonstrators criticized the electoral umpire for allegedly marginalizing them.
INEC should change Warri South local government area in the sense that Ubeji, Egbokodo, Ifiekporo, and the rest places in Warri South, we have more than 30 communities in Warri South that INEC could conveniently create new words from. INEC refused. In Shekiri, we were majority in all of these three local governments that makes up Warri Federal Constituency. Now we are not the majority. How did INEC come about that?
Midway into the protest, a group of youths stormed the venue and attacked the protesters, causing momentary scare. Calm later sets in and the demonstrators are received by a national commissioner who assures them of actions taken to address their demands.
This is an issue that is being discussed. And like I said, I'm sure the commission and indeed this will come back with the position that has been taken.
Meanwhile, in Delta State, members of the Ijaw ethnic nationality have commended INEC on the delineation exercise and are asking the electoral umpire to create more political wards.
We also commend the commission in Warri South local government for being fair to all the ethnic nationalities and stakeholders. However, the Ijaw people state that the area should have been delineated into at least 5 homogeneous electoral wards, and also urge the Independent National Electoral Commission to disregard frivolous protests against the delineation exercise in Warri South local government area.
The delineation exercise by INEC is in compliance with a Supreme Court judgment which ordered the Commission to carry out the exercise, which created new polling units and electoral wards in Warri Federal Constituency.
Well, the issue of Warri Federal Constituency that has Warri South, Warri Southwest, and Warri North Federal Constituency has generated so much controversy, it looks like it never goes away. And all sides are pressuring INEC in their words to do the right thing. Let me show you a graph of what this thing looks like. Just a quick one for those of you who may be familiar with numbers. I'm sorry. So that's the old structure where the Shekiri people had the majority in terms of federal constituencies, in terms of wards, I should say. And so the blue stands for Shekiri, the red stands for Ijaw, and then the black stands for Urobo. Now, there was an updated one that now increased, I think, Warri Southwest or South to 12. But recently, you can see the very last one, the new structure. You can see that the Ijaw people have slightly a bit more number of words than the Shekiri people, although Urobo people's words have also increased. So that is what is causing the trouble of these 3 ethnic nationalities that make up Warri Federal Constituency. I have with me my guest who will help us make sense of the situation, who understands the challenges right here in our studios. Chief Mrs. Rita Laurie Ogbebo, she's the Igba of Warri. Welcome, ma. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Chief. And good afternoon, Nigerians. I'm happy to be here.
This issue looks like it never wants to go away. We've been discussing this, I think, since last year. In fact, for as long as I can remember, there was the Supreme Court. I don't want to go to the legalese because I've explained that it used to be 32 words, and then it was updated to 12. One of the words were increased from 10 to 12, and now the entire words across the 3 local governments are now about 60. But the challenge now is that, or the argument of the Shekiri people, their number of words is slightly less than that of the Ijaw people. And you say it's unfair. Why do you say it's unfair?
Well, first and foremost, I want to state clearly here that I'm here for 2 reasons. And these 2 reasons, I'm not sentimental. I am a mother. I'm 86. I have children, I have grandchildren. We are tired. I have nursed dead children. In 1997, we had the Warri crisis. And I saw dead children. And I don't want to see that again. So what I'm here today, after saying the violence that the judges they are boasting and they are very violent. I am here. After seeing that, I'm scared. I'm scared because I carry dead bodies. And they say it's going to happen again. If INEC does not do what they want, it is going to happen again. And they are not lying. They say it's going to happen again. And in that it is even worse now. They made it a press conference. And they say they are going to fight. And that violence is what I want to talk about today. And
both sides threatening violence?
No. Our Checklists don't, you yourself, you must have Checkly friends. You know Checklists don't threaten violence. They are gentle. We know each other. They know their king. And the king is responsible for every Checkly man. And he can trace them where they are. So, no. They know we don't fight. And this is why they threaten. So I'm here to say, as it is now, Ijos are on this river, robots are on the sea. Where do the Checklists go to? That we are put there, it's not our fault, it's God. You see, all the oil wells today that the Ijos are bragging about, they belong to the Checklists. That is why they want to without us, there will not be peace in the Delta. If we want to be violent and go the way they go, there won't be peace. But we realize that if we don't give peace, we too will not have peace. So
what exactly will bring peace?
So where I'm going, Jeff, I'm asking Nigerians and the president, you must give Checklists protection. What I have, because it is a looming genocide that is waiting to happen. And I, Jeff, I am a mother, I'm a grandmother. I will not allow it to happen because the world will hear before it happens. That when people in your country, the way they were threatening in a country like ours, it is scary. And the government is not doing anything about it. I think it is very, very scary.
So let's break it down for the people who are not familiar with this case. In the old 32 wards, I don't even want, because when the delineation is now done in wards, constituencies will pop up. Sometimes new constituencies in state assemblies will pop up. That argument is for another day. So in the old delineation, the old order, where we had 32, we had 10, 10, 12 or so, where we had 32 wards in the Warri federal constituency. If I understand very well, the Shekiri had the majority, and then the Ijaw people had about maybe less than 10. I don't know the exact number. But when this new delineation was done,
which new delineation?
I mean, the one INEC is being proposed by INEC. The one that
it is a proposal, so we don't know.
That's what I'm showing you. I showed you. I did show that from the proposal. The proposal that is in circulation.
No, that proposal, this is where the danger is.
Yes.
INEC.
No, it's not being public. I'm saying that's the proposal, right?
I will not look at the proposal. I am a chief.
So what is the agitation about if you haven't seen the proposal?
This is your point, but you are here. You hear the judge and the robots say that it is done. But it is not done. And this is what the second reason I'm here. I want to tell the Shekiris that me, their chief, had not seen this proposal. I do not think the Olu of Warri has seen this proposal.
I will be surprised if journalists have seen it, because I've seen the said proposal. Let's put it
the said
proposal,
okay,
which now has, I think, Ijona has about 26 words.
Yes.
The Shekiri has about 25 or 24 words, and then the Urobo have 9 words. So what is the agitation?
Look.
What do you want? Okay, I think let me put it differently. Got all the time. What do Shekiri people want? What do you want? We
own our land. When they came, for instance, you know that Ijos have been told, the Ijos have been told in court that they should never come to make any claim in Warri. I have the book here, the Ijos in Warri. They've been told. So what they didn't get, and what they know they cannot get, through the law, they are going through government and their own concussions with INEC.
In closing this conversation, man, so that we make headway, it was 34 words. I have said, and I'm repeating myself, just hold on. Now, the document we are in copy of has about 60 words. I've told you the distribution of what that document says. I'm not saying it's been published. I'm saying what we're in copy of. So if you were to, because there has to be peace. We can't allow everywhere going flames.
Yes. Jeffrey, please, please. I am a chief.
Okay.
Every word that comes from my mouth is supposed to be correct. Because my people, I know, everywhere, all over the world, they are listening to me now. I will not go. I cannot take a message to my people on things that the government, my Nigerian government, has not told me that they have done.
So what are you rejecting?
This is why, it's what the judges are saying. When I came here, I told you that the judges are threatening violence, that they are going to kill all the Shekiris. They use the word kill.
That's an extreme term. That's a big allegation.
That is, I'm coming. This is why I said it is a looming genocide. I have their records here, which you can play. So, what I am saying, when I came here, I said, looming genocide. And that is not going to happen.
We don't hope. Genocide is a very strong word.
It's a very strong word.
So we'll be cautious with the use of that word on anybody and anybody who is alleged to.
But what happens if people are killed? Do I come to you?
No, nobody. We don't hope anybody will be killed. That's why as we came here, I was trying to see what exactly you have heard that is the proposal, whether the one I have or the one you know of or you don't know of.
It's only what is only the Jaws and the robbers who know what they're asking for, who are peddling these so-called documents. Okay. We don't see it. We don't know it. Let them show it to us. INEC, show it to us.
Okay. It's an ongoing conversation, madam. We'll definitely get to the roots of this particular issue, because nobody wants the Warri ethnic the Warri federal constituency to go up in flames over issues of delineation. But we understand how this is important to all sides. Well, thank you, Chief Mrs. Rita Laurie Ogbebo. She's the Igba of Warri. Thank you, madam, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's it on the program. Thank you for your time and company. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. Bye-bye.